The best radio show.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzette. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's Starr Radio UK and the morning show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio
Broadcasting worldwide,
UK.
online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people. Love for you.
Welcome.
All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. I want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Thursday edition of the morning show. Today is the 7th day of September, the day after the night, or the day after that day. Okay, that is 7/07/09/2023. That is 7th of September 2023. 10:42 the time. Starr Radio UK, the station. Of course, I am your one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
But let me say good morning to my team this morning, my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, and then to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. the white lion himself, who is geared himself out to bring you more information pertaining to what is happening in Nigeria this morning on the update from Nigeria. But wherever you are, I want to say to you once again, welcome to the show. My brother Felix, all the way in Aberdeen, massive good morning. Kojo D, good morning. Alexis, good morning to you. Kofiali, good morning.
Love for you runs things.
Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, I salute each and every one of you. In back of you, say, Mr. Chen Frempong, good morning to you all. Until it's Mamina Chen. And I'm saying good morning to my Bishop Adesina all the way in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, Abiya's office, and all your colleagues there. I salute each and every one of you. Also to Anthony Adedeji, good morning. Aziz, good morning. Olakunle, good morning. Shamsuddin, good morning. Sir Maxwell, good morning to you. Where you are? Okay, so let me put it this way. All protocol observed. You have not mentioned your name. Please bear with me. God, there are numerous of you. My goodness. And I love you all to bits. And that's what makes you great. The support that you give us each day. Okay, so as you know, for those of you who have tuned in for the first time on a Thursday morning for the morning show, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the coach for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll move from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then at 11 o'clock, I'll bring you Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will bring you updates from Nigeria. Then we'll continue from thence. Exactement. At 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions while the program goes on, looking at all the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. However, if you want to post your comment before the time the lines are open, feel free to do so. You can do so by just posting your comments on any of the platforms that we are broadcasting on. Then at 12:30, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So you know, Jesus, what's going to happen? If you are standing, hold on to something. Sitting, sit very comfortably. Yo, get yourself a hot or cold drink. But here in London or in the UK, I can tell you that you need a very cold, chilling one, man. The quote for the day says, we may belong to different religious denominations, yet we face the same challenges today. So how we go through it or how we survive depends on how we manage to work together. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages.
All of you makes my heart.
Now moving on straight to the weather front for what is happening here in the UK front this morning. And that's what makes you great. For London and the southeast of England, well, it's going to be clear skies throughout the afternoon, a hot and humid day once again. Now this evening will start with clear, dry conditions and clear skies for towards dawn. Mist and fog might develop in places as until night as well. Top temperature 30 degrees, lower 17 degrees. Pollen level moderate, UV level high, pollution low. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's take a quick break, and once we come back, I bring you the travel update. So wherever you are, stay tuned, don't you go away.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, so keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. Also keep it navigated. I promise I'm on the Starr Radio travel update that keeps you wherever you have to go, guiding you on your travels. Well, let me tell you something. If you want to travel on the underground, please be warned. The heat, this morning or today is one that you have to have your own private, even the fans, because as of yesterday, they were saying that on some of the platforms, the temperatures there was ranging between what? Up to 35 thereabouts. Okay. But on the major roads in London, apart from the airport that got serious delays, all the others are running a good service. Now on the Jubilee line this morning, there are shortages due to trains. There are minor delays due to train shortages, and the Piccadilly line is suffering no service between South Harrow to Uxbridge while they fix a signal failure at Rayners Lane. No minor delays on Acton Town to South Harrow westbound only. Good service on the rest of the line though. Well, all the other underground lines have got good service. The DL, London Tram Link, London Overground, all working in good service. But keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads, also keep it navigated. River Bus is having a good service today, as well as the London Cable Car. This brings us straight to the final segment of the travel update, and that is the National Rail. So what is happening on the National Rail this morning? Let me tell you about that. Now, East Midlands Railways, First Transparent Express, Gatwick Express, Great Western Railway, Heathrow Express, Northern Rail, Southern, and Thameslink have all got minor delays. That aside, all the others have got good services there. So, as I would say, and as you know, okay, just bear with me there. Okay. Well, so as you know, I would say it this way. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
Okay, welcome back to the program. It is now time for Global Trotting. So what is happening across the globe this morning? Now, just taking you straight to Nigeria, where yesterday it was all unraveling like no man's business. Well. On the Niger Voices, those of you who missed out on that as well, Mr. Olayomi Koiki did a marvelous work, as you know he will normally do. Yes, that is his norm. That's what he does. Bringing you the best in everything that he does there. Well. The PEPT is saying accept judgment, and Khan is urging Nigerians as well. Now, Kaduna State Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, that is Khan, Reverend John Heya, has called on Nigerians to allow the rule of law to take its course in judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in the overall peace and unity of Nigerians. Now, is it up a time where people put aside their differences? Well, we lost whether it was through fair or foul means, some way, somehow. For the unity of the country, we have to let sleeping dogs lie, and let's see how best, so that subsequent elections we can get things working properly. Do you think that's going to happen? But Article OB, her plan appeal as election tribunal dashes bid to sack Tinubu. Okay, and PDP LP rejects tribunal verdict. That's PDP and Labour Party reject tribunal verdict. More next move. as Tinubu calls for unity. Well, of course, the presidential election petition court on Wednesday struck out the petition of the PDP and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, alleging that President Tinubu of the All Progressive Party Congress owns dual citizenship. Okay. But Tinubu has welcomed the verdict and is urging Atiku and Obi to support government. Well, that is the question I was asking yesterday, but lots more going to be coming your way from there. The reaction from the ground when the verdict came in, finally saying that, well, the victory of Tinubu has been upheld. How did people react to that? We'll be coming to that as well. More coming your way from there. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Of course, when Yomi comes on, he'll be giving you excerpts of what happened on the Niger Voices yesterday. Now, on the African continent, well, the military, they call them the military junta. I don't know why they call them that. The military regime in Gabon has freed Ali Bongo. They said, well, if he wants to, whatever he wants to do, he's free to go about his duties, whatever he wants to, not his duties, go about his daily, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to travel outside the country for medical health treatment or whatever, he's free to do so. So he's not being held any longer. But, well. Madagascar's president, Andre Rajoelina, has announced his bid for re-election. And Libya deports 250 undocumented African Asian migrants. Wow. Okay. African and Asian migrants. I'll be telling you more about that. So coming away from Starr Radio UK. And then a 4 dead in Cairo building collapse is one of the stories making the rounds this morning. In Ethiopia, 15 arrests in Tigray before a local opposition is the stories making the rounds there. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to Ghana, Kofi Ali will tell you that all this chieftaincy thing that they continue to do, he doesn't think there is any need for that. So what is the need for having a government or a president and we say have a chief? What are they doing? Are they not actually contradicting each other or whatever it is? Well, there are a few going on there which I will just leave it. Now Akufo-Addo has sacrificed competence for loyalty, Asante is saying. And then we have Alan Cash, formerly known as Alan Cash, withdrawing from the MPP flag bearer race. Someone is saying that it's an indictment on the MPP. Why is it an indictment? Are you looking at it and saying, well, I've not got a dog's chance to win, so he decided to quit. But some are also saying that, you know what, the the first runner up, that's how we put it, Kennedy Japan, has not got the impetus or the merit to become or what it takes to become a president of a nation. So what do they actually want? Is it school certificate? And what qualification has he got? He's a businessman. He can tell you that I'm a businessman. I've made lots of profit, and I think that I know how to run a business, and therefore, well, they don't have Donald Trump making America great again. Why? Because he's a businessman. He's a shrewd one, and he thinks that he can use the same thing to run the country and maybe bring its fortunes in. Well, what about that? Well, leaked audio plotting IGP's remover, COP George Alex Mensah and 2 others have been interdicted. It's one of the stories making the rounds there as well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Wow. Japan boy band agency boss resigns over predators abuse. The CEO finally acknowledges the rampant sexual abuse committed by industry titan John Kitagawa. Well, so he said it's gone. Now, U.S. to arm Ukraine with controversial tank shell. It will be the first time the U.S. is sending the armor-piercing munitions to Ukraine. Well, so we'll see how that will pan out for the Ukrainians. The Palestinians set out terms for Saudi-Israeli deal. Palestinian officials push for more control of land in the occupied West Bank of historic talks. You know, interestingly, if you watch some documentaries heading to the reformation of Israel as a state back in the day when after the Second World War and they decided to move back and stuff like that, or 1940 or Yeah, I've forgotten the dates. I've mixed up the dates. And then the deals that they were having, the Jews or the Israelis who were coming in were trying to, negotiate with the Palestinians. Say, oh, please give us some place to live. Oh, please share something with that. And you see what is happening now. You ask yourself the question: do you want to believe anybody when they tell you whatever they want to do? Well. A court decriminalizes abortion across Mexico. The Supreme Court ruling means all 32 of the country's states can now provide terminations. And Mexico closer to electing first woman president Claudia Sheinbaum will face off against Xochitl Galvez in next year's presidential election. It's an all-female affair there. Now, Springsteen postponed show over stomach ulcer. There are some stories making the round. And China wants to ban clothes that hurt nations' feelings. Oh, a draft law sparked debate with locals calling it absurd and questioning how they will be policed. Well, are they going to have a law like that of the Iranians, where we have fashion police? They'll be there waiting. We come out and say, ha, we caught you. Go and get 3 lashes. What do you think about all that? Well, more going to be coming away from there. When it comes to the UK front, hunt for escaped prisoner entered second day. Questions are being asked about whether proper protocols were followed at HMP Wandsworth. And I bet you by the time we say Jack, heads would have rolled. A young autistic people dying despite coroner's warning. And that's some of the stories making the round. And network rate admits failing caused crash deaths. The driver was not warned that the part of the track near Stonehaven was unsafe before the fatal crash in 2020. A UK rejoins EU science research scheme. Rising UK-based scientists and institutions will have access to the £85 billion fund from today. Well, so somehow we said we've Brexited, we've left the EU. Now we put one finger in there. We say this one is for science. By the time we see Jack, we have our head and everything in there. What do you think about all that? Starr Radio UK. And MP Chris Pincher. You remember the Pincher? Well, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that is his name. He's a Pincher, so what do you expect from him? Well. It's quit after losing a groping appeal. The former Tory whip's resignation paves the way for another by-election. So there are 2 by-elections, Nadine Dorris's and then Chris Pincher's. What is going to happen to the Conservatives? That will be a very, very interesting one to follow or see. This and a lot more going to be coming your way. It is Starr Radio UK, 10:59 the time. Now we're going to be taking some musical break, and once we come back, I'll be telling you. Somebody says that so far as I am alive, you will never become a president. Well, telling Tinubu that. So what is all that about? The whole Tinubu's my apologies, Obi. That's what the person was telling Obi. But I'll be telling you more. INEC cannot guarantee credible elections in Nigeria, a senior lawyer has said. Why? What are the measures? We had the INEC boss here in the UK before the elections, and he was making all sorts of promises. But you know what? Let's write the names of talkatives this morning. Those who are making let's write their names. Let's put their names down. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
It's like my favorite song on this album, y'all. It's no secret in our world. People like to talk the things they know and the ones they don't. They will spread lies and rumors just to be known. So why are you wasting your time like this? Hearing those things that break your heart. Give no attention, give no thoughts. Cause people talk, and they'll never help you walk. So whenever they speak, look up and you will see a broken pencil and a sheet. And tell them, say, I'm writing names of talkatives. Yeah.
All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes.
This is Starr Radio, UK.
No time to waste.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
I'm writing names of talkatives.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
All of this
9.
noise you're making on me.
Teacher, let them when you come.
Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
There are many voices in this life, and to be honest,
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
so don't hear something and pick a knife. Cause most of these things are nothing but lies. Teacher said, be careful how you hear, cause there are talkatives here, they're everywhere. So silence the voices in your head and give no attention to your fears. I'm writing
names of talkatives.
da, 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 da.
All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes.
As for me,
I have a race.
no time to
No
waste.
time to waste.
I'm writing names of
I'm
talkatives.
writing names of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
All of this
9,
noise
10,
you're making
11,
on
12,
me.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Teacher will
20.
get you when he comes. I have a race. No time to waste.
Can we talk? Can we talk? Call them, say,
Talkatives.
do you know any?
Talkatives.
Have you met any?
Talkatives.
Can we write some?
Talkatives.
List some names of talkatives.
Talkatives.
I am going now.
Talkatives.
Some friends are,
Talkatives.
some family members,
Talkatives.
some landlords are. I
Talkatives.
said your exes are,
Talkatives.
your exes are.
Talkatives.
Have you known any?
Talkatives.
Move away far from
Talkatives.
opinions are.
Talkatives.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio, UK.
Some symptoms
Are you ready to turn it up?
addictions are.
Talkatives.
Move away far from
Talkatives.
people's opinions are.
Talkatives.
You are too fast.
Talkatives.
Well, whatever you do, you have people criticizing you.
Talk too much.
As I do say all the time when I'm on air, it depends on what kind of criticism that you are facing or you are giving.
You sing too much.
First of all, he who goes to equity must go with a clean hand. Then secondly, you have to give constructive criticism,
The one they said,
not destructive one.
are you sure you know her?
Because the final outcome of your criticism should be something that people will see, posterity will see one day and say, well, he did say that. So if you had hearkened to that, maybe we would have seen different things.
Run away from.
But it looks like when it comes to our part of the world, that's not what we see. But as I did say, we're going to be having Mr. Koiki joining in the next few moments.
Look up and
But the national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has urged People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party to accept the verdict of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, which upheld the victory of Bola Tinubu at the February 25th, 2023 elections. But do you think that was
no time to waste.
an acceptable judgment that was given? Or as we say,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
in judgment or in the judiciary or in law, evidence is the game. Well, maybe they were not able to give the necessary evidence that they need to give. Those who were saying that, well, we think that there were lots of anomalies when it came to the election, couldn't prove good enough to tell us exactly what has happened there. But well, you want to know somebody who monitored the whole thing and brought you a program that discussed the whole issue? Then that is my brother, colleague, and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi of North London Studio, who this morning has joined me. And let me say, Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe, and welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and it's good to be back with you, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank, and good morning to all the sound engineer and those behind the scene and making sure that we are live to our listeners. And good morning to those that have joined us on the sister broadcast, from the TikTok to the Twitter space, and also to the Facebook. And I say good afternoon to those on the other side in Japan, and likewise Malaysia, and somewhere in New Zealand, Australia. I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes. How are you doing, and how was your night?
Well, I think when your wife gives birth and if there is no complication, you are likely to come back home and rejoice and just prepare for the events that will start unfolding and the noise in the house. And I think, after the whole Niger Voices yesterday and the whole event that was unfolding back in Abuja, I think I had a very beautiful night for someone like me that believes that the right to self-determination is the only way forward in Nigeria. But as we also have to respect as many Nigerians that believe that the only other option is to keep Nigeria, and that means that the election must continue. So I had a very peaceful night, but I'm not too sure whether our other colleagues from the Labour Party and the PDP might have slept very well, but I did sleep very well.
Well, listeners, that is Mr. Olayomi for you. Well, he did sleep very well. Some couldn't sleep very well because of the verdict that came, but how did you take that the whole judgment, the verdict? How did you actually see it? We'll be telling you more about that in a moment. But yesterday we had the opportunity of once again bringing you the Niger Voices with Mr. Olayomi, where we touched on the verdict again. There were lots of reactions. Now during his presentation, his first part of the statement this morning, he was saying that he thinks that the only way forward is self-determination, where you have to actually have your own place. We decide how we want to. So going back to the regional government thing, where maybe some way somehow that will bring about the good fortunes of the country or turn it around. But what do you think about that? He's going to be telling us just a sneak view of what happened on the Niger Voices, the reaction of people after that verdict yesterday. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, I think going back to as many of our viewers and listeners from the two platforms, I think we probably reached close to 50,000 viewers yesterday, and because Starr Radio UK is a trusted platform that many Nigerians wants to get the hang of what actually was happening, and we were able to do that throughout the program. We were able to balance the situation. Even we had members of the APC that also join us, from Lagos, that are also as the PDP, and likewise, the Labour Party. And like we always say, the Starr Radio UK believe in everybody's views as much as we are not biased. So when I went back and look at the listeners, I thought I think we did a bit of justice to it. But the most important part is that you can also be part of the program, and that comes up every Wednesday from 1800 hours up to 830. That is about 2100 hours or 2000 hours. What did we discuss yesterday? We talked about the PEP verdict, which is part of what we're going to be discussing later on this morning as well. And I believe many believe that justice has been served, as much as others believe that the judiciary were a little bit either being paid off or biased. I don't have the evidence to such. I can only take what people are saying, but again, those are allegations. But from what we discussed on the Star Radio network yesterday, I can literally say that yes, many have now accepted that they just have to move on and wait for the next 4 years. But many of the supporters think that they might have to finish up the job by going into the Supreme Court as well. But again, if you've missed all that, they can still be watched on the Star Radio UK social media platform, and likewise our apps that can be downloaded on the Play Store.
Okay, listeners, that is a sneak view of what took place on the Niger Voices yesterday. So for those of you who missed out, you can go to the Star Radio UK YouTube or the Facebook or the Twitter, and then you can get that broadcast. And all the sister platforms that we use for this broadcast, you can just go there and have a re-listen to it. Maybe you want to catch up, or maybe you want to write a thesis about how election petition goes or anything. It will help you a great deal. We have all documented there for you. All right then, listen to Star Radio UK in our North London studios, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, let's now come to the reaction of, first of all, the victors. So when I say the victors, the APC. Now we have the president who has come out to say, he's saying whether congratulating the judges for a good job done. We have PDP and Labour Party also saying different things. So what has been the reaction from these three camps? Can you just give us one after the other, and then let's say?
You're quite right. Remember that the president is currently in India for the G20 summit that is coming up in the next couple of days. And yes, you're quite right. There have been reaction from the president all the way in India, and I think we might just have a sneak view of what was said by the president in just about a few minutes. But first and foremost, the president is now saying that we must have to move on and accept that the result is now concluded by the election tribunal, which remember the president was more about anyone that does not feel very comfortable should go to court. And this was part of the reaction yesterday from the presidency. We could see behind the camera, which I'm watching right here, the president was also monitoring what was happening on the ground from India. And when the whole event eventually became that the president won that election, this was how the celebration started. And you can tell that it is a full celebration in India with part of the ministers and some of the governors that traveled with the president. That is the reaction coming from India. But back in Nigeria, the vice president is saying democracy not our destination but the journey. Shetima says just after the tribunal, and also it seems that the president have been able to secure the first 3 billion deal still investment pledge for Nigeria in India. That has been the reaction from the APC. I'll come back again to you in the studio as we're going to be looking at the reaction coming from the PDP, Peter Obi, and Atiku Abubakar under the PDP as well.
Well, listeners, Starr
Peter Obi under the Labour Party, rather.
Listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. We are looking at updates from Nigeria, but looking at the verdict yesterday from the PEPTS, right? Good. Okay. So now let's now the reaction from the presidency and the statement that the president has made. We'll come to Labour and the PDP now saying that look. We have to now work together. We need to come together. We have to forget about it. Now, when it comes to elections on the African continent, this is proper. What you need to find a capital to do it. This is big money that people have to use to do that. Okay, so this is big money that people have lost. So if it's just saying, you know what, yeah, let's come together. Do you think they're going to do that? Or he just said it? I mean, everybody becomes president and say, oh, we all have to become one. And then, is it something that you think that from the statement, he really means it? Or something to say so that everybody would say, oh yeah, let's relax, let's chill? Yomi.
Remember that you did ask the question yesterday, if we can have a kind of a unity government. What do we mean by a unity government? Remember that this government is actually now claiming the full ownership of the election result, and even after the PEP, the Presidential Election Tribunal, have come out to say that he's still the president. The question about the unity government will be whether the other opposition are ready to work so that they can then become a checkmate, just like we have it here in UK, where we know that at some point there are parliament, but we still have opposition. Will the opposition now ready to criticize and probably checkmate the government will be the question, rather than a unity government, because I'm not sure whether Peter Obi wants to get any kind of appointment under Bola Tinubu. That I don't think would be his best option. Likewise Atiku, but I can't speak on their behalf. We have to wait to see whether that friendship and will be accepted by the two candidates. But from what we are hearing yesterday is that the two other political parties are not accepting the tribunal, and there's going to be a litigant might resort to self-help if Peter Obi's lawyer has won already. Dr. Levi Uzoku, the senior advocate of Nigeria and the lawyer of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, is vowed to appeal the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PEPT, that upheld the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was actually speaking after the judgment yesterday. The judgment went for a very long time, and we saw many of both sides sleeping at the court premises. You can tell, inside the court rather, you could tell that, the stress. But it seems that Peter Obi and Atiku will be appealing again to the Supreme Court. Okay, now, fine, so they'll be appealing. We all agree to that. Now when it comes to the judgment that came, the dual citizenship, has Bola Tinubu actually got a Guinean and Nigerian citizenship, or has he ever had a Guinean citizenship before? Well, I think the two parties could not prove, as much as a lot of what was being said against Bola Tinubu, from drug to dual citizenship to even what we can call his identity. It seems that his identity is not something that many Nigerians know, but all this could not be proved according to PEPT, and that literally means that these allegations were thrown out, as much as many Nigerians might not accept what the judges have said, but the judges are going in accordance to what was brought forward in the case of the tribunal itself. But like I said, many Nigerians will still have to digest what took place on the 6th of September in Abuja yesterday. But it seems that, like I said, if your wife gives birth without any complication, you might just have to come back home and prepare. But if there's a kind of complication, then you might have to keep going back to the hospital and get it fixed. And it seems that Peter Obi and Atiku are still looking for the Supreme Court to fix this election matter that took place on the 25th of February this year.
Okay, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. If you want to go on, we'll go on for some time. But let's look at the statement that Shetima did make. He said, well, the democracy that we are practicing is not a destination, but a journey. Meaning that, well, we're going to be having some challenging times on the way. But another story that I picked up, that pertains to that of the chairman of the APC also saying that, well, okay, I think it was another story that I picked. I picked the headline from somewhere. But he was saying that, well, the INEC cannot run an election that will say that this one is a perfect one or a free and a fair election. So the fourth position, what they're trying to say is that all the elections that we will have will never represent exactly what the people are saying. Yomi.
Well, that means that we'll have to amend the constitution, to be able to allow INEC to give us, a fair and credible election. The election itself, from the international observer, was not credible when it comes to many issues surrounding the election that was played out. But INEC has been given a power under the constitution to conduct the election every 4 years, and they've done exactly what the constitution have told them to do. But if you are not able to prove certain things against INEC, maybe we're going to have to go back and review the 1999 constitution itself. Remember, the constitution itself has not been a perfect one because it was a military diktat, but many believe that since there is amendment going on, it will take time before we get to where INEC itself will be able to give Nigerians a credible and fair election.
Well, will that happen? That's the question on the lips of most people. Will that ever happen? And this is where we ask the question again. When it gets to a point where people are thinking that, look, our rights are being trampled upon, our choices are not, we are not being heckled to, we are being marginalized, then you get what I'm saying? I wouldn't say the rest there. But we've seen it happening on the African continent when an hour after somebody announced himself that, look, I am the president, I've won. Then the next moment the military say, no, we've taken over, and that is Ali Bongo's story for Gabon. But we thank God that nothing of the such happened yesterday after the verdict. But has we had before the court proceeding took place, we had the APC, some supporters in there who were threatening, and then we had some supporters of the PDP and LP who were also there, whether demonstrated outside the court and stuff like that. How was their reaction? Did maybe OB speak quickly to them, calm down, I'm going to go to the Supreme Court, there's no need to worry? Did Atiku or any of them, is that what they did to calm them down, or is it the presence of the military that stopped these ones from maybe doing whatever thing that they wanted to do?
Well, I think the expectation yesterday there was tense. Remember, the DSS released some statement just 24 hours before the election tribunal was going to be announcing the judgment. But it seems that since everything went for a very long period, much was not really pushed out. I don't think those that came out wanted to stay that long. So it seems everybody must have gone back home. But again, we don't know what was being discussed behind the scene or behind the curtain by these two political candidates to their followers. But all I've seen is that everything was very quiet yesterday. Okay, so it's good. We thank God that at least, as Yomi said, if your wife goes to the labor ward to give birth and then gives birth and they are all okay, the baby is okay and you're okay,
and there's no trouble, at least you come home, you come and prepare yourself for the crying. That's how you're going to take care of their family. That is another story for another day. Listen, let's start Radio UK. Shemi, Adeyemi, good morning. It's a good morning, Archie and Koiki and the rest of the team. We salute you as well. We thank God Nigeria has not happened to you, as we say on this platform. Well, it's gone what? 11:27, and let's move on with some of the other stories making the rounds this morning. Now, interestingly, we have the labor union, the NLC, that is telling the workers to go back, but it looks like the workers don't want to go back. So what is going on there, Yomi?
Well, it was just only a 2 days protest that was called. It's not an indefinite one. So the labor believe that they've been able to justify that 2 days that was called, even though some other states did not attend it. But the Nigerian workers' strike are just trying to force the president to reverse reforms, but the president is not ready to look into that. But again, the NLC has ended the strike, urged members to maintain steadfast, and they'll be able to resolve the problem. The Nigerian Labour Congress yesterday ended what we know as a 2-day nationwide warning strike, but they're encouraging their members to maintain their steadfast that will resolve if the government fails to provide appropriate response to their demand. What has been their demand is that there must be some kind of cushion after this was how they started the engagement in Nasarok, but again, that has not really yielded the outcome. We know that palliatives have been distributed across the state, but the workers are still not yet been sorted out, and that is part of the problem this morning. Jaro, while appreciating members for their invaluable contributions and steadfast dedication to the cause of the struggle, said the body was not unmindful of the actions of the defectors and the fifth communists, saying that in the face of them all, it remained undaunted and there will be more to defense of the Nigerian workers and people at any given time. So it seems that we might be getting maybe the kind of 2 days, 1 day that we get here in UK, but they are still saying that they might go for the full indefinite that would then probably make more impact. I think the 2 days did not push that impact, but according to the president of the NLC says it was a successful one.
Okay, if it is a successful one, we hope to see. We know that the president went to some talks with them and pardoning them for all sorts, and then we think that because they said that they embarked on a strike when the courts have said that they shouldn't embark on a strike, so they said okay, we've just quashed all that. But well, they think that they have to fight the interests of their people or their followers, and that's what they've been doing. Listen, let's start Radio UK. Now let's look at one area that is quite troubling. Somebody asked this question behind the scenes, asking that so the various groupings, I'm talking about the Yoruba, I'm talking about the Igbos, I'm talking about the Southeast, the Southwest, and then the Middle Belt. Now, what have been their reaction to the verdict there? Is it something that they look at and think, okay, like the Southwest thinking, well, Tinubu hails from our place, and therefore maybe with his authentication by this court or the appeals court, that is it. We are going to get what we need, or we are no more going to be marginalized. What has been the reaction from the various quarters? Yomi, please.
I think the reaction has not, there's no statement yet from the leader of the self-determination movement, neither from those campaigner of the Biafra, but the reaction have always been on the social media where we can be able to gauge what people are saying. As much as it hasn't gone in the favor of the two political parties, it seems that there are now individuals that are saying that maybe it is time that Peter Obi reach out to Simon Ekpa and then be able to work with him from the perspective of what we called the Biafra, and that has been some kind of reaction. Nigeria is not one. In Nigeria, this is coming from Oduluke Ipolitus Ifeanyichukwu. Nigeria is not for the Igbos. The only way out is freedom. Peter Obi should put a call through to Simon Ekpa, let's do these once and for all. I don't know whether that is going to happen. Another one says, Prince Doze Baba Agua, Simon Ekpa will laugh at us today. That is also coming from there. So you can see that even as much as there hasn't been any reaction yet, but based on the conversation on the social media, the Yorubas believe that it is definitely for Tinubu to be the president since Buhari was there. So there's no doubt for him not to be there. But those campaigner of self-determination, I was looking at the Yoruba Self-Determination World Media yesterday, and their own is that Tinubu only has the first 4 years to lead the country, then he might get the second time, nobody knows. That will be subject to if the voters vote him back, especially knowing that Tinubu was really challenged by Peter Obi and Atiku. Should these two form a formidable union just before the next election, which is now a countdown, because 3 years, in the next 4 years will be the final of the campaign. So 4 years is not normally the term. We talk about the 3 years running as a president. That literally means that Tinubu might have to prove to so many Nigerians that didn't vote him to convince them so that he can be able to get the second time. Not literally those from the southwest, but again, the whole country, so that he can be able to finish his 8 years tenure. But the self-determination have always stood with their own verse of 8 years would not be able to rectify and fix Nigeria, even if Tinubu meets as many investors around the world. We will only find out after he has left the office, just as the 8 years of Buhari. I remember the Yoruba man that was the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo. We are now told by so many analysts around the world that the Nigerian economy got more damage during the tenure of the former president Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
Well, now he's giving Yemi Osinbajo a bad name. You see? Well, listen at Starr Radio UK. Well, he was the boss man. So it is the updates from Nigeria on the Thursday edition of the morning show. Now let's move on to some other stories. The consumer protests as federal government hikes electricity meters price by 40%. Now this is the electricity, NEPA that we know that it's never stable. And now you want to get people to be using that, and now you hike the meters. So what? Especially now that people are desperate. Now, don't you think that they'll use foul means to get the power, maybe tap the whatever that way? What has been a reaction from the public pertaining to this 40% hike on meters?
Well, electricity is the most important key to any economy around the world, and it's not cheap, even here in Europe. But many Nigerians will be waking up as more toxic is coming into the country when it comes to the fuel subsidy has been removed. We're now talking about hike in the increase of the single phase and the 3-phase per meter electricity meters. Declare that the hike actually takes effect from yesterday. It was announced. It announced this is an order released by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, which jointly signed by the Commission Chairman Sanusi Gaba at his Commissioner Legal Licenses and Compliance. In order, the government stated that a single phase meter would now cost you 81,975 naira 16 kobo from the previous price of 58,661 naira 69 kobo. So we're talking about almost 30,000 naira on that, while the price of the phase 3 meter was raised to 143,836 naira 10 kobo from 109,000. But again, our consumer have kicked against this. But explaining why the cost of the meters, the next said it was to ensure a fair and reasonable pricing of meters to both the meter asset provider. Many households do not have the meters, and that literally means that you would have to rely on fixed price of meter, fixed price of electricity coming to you. If family members are also at home, do not have such, and that literally means that even whether they have the light or not, every month they are bringing close to about 12,000 naira monthly bill. And you might wonder, maybe that is cheap. But again, for household that is not using much, and the household that is not also making much income, because we know that most of the state have not been able to pay 30,000 naira. So every 10,000 naira in the price of electricity is quite expensive. But again, many Nigerians cannot afford to get the meter, and they have to rely on the monthly bill. Right here in UK, you have the option to either go on a pay-as-you-go or monthly, and you will then be able to work out how much you're consuming in the house.
Well, listeners, if you are a consumer in Nigeria, if you live in Nigeria, you got a house or you got a business that you depend on electricity, there is some information there for you. Olaoluwa Oguntola, just good morning to you. So good morning to all of us on Starr Radio UK. Thanks for keeping us up to date with the situation report from West Africa. We salute you, sir, for joining us as well. Okay, now, interestingly, before I leave, I'll allow you to go on to some of the other stories that you have for us. You know, the president has reacted to what former President Obasanjo said pertaining to the Port Harcourt refinery. He's telling him, man, you're not an engineer, because Obasanjo was saying that he had a chat with Shell then back in the day whilst he was president, and telling them that he wanted to give them the opportunity to eventually take about 50% invest in the refinery, blah blah, and they give all the reasons why it wouldn't work. But Tinubu is very optimistic, saying that it's going to work, and telling the former president, you're not an engineer. Yomi.
Well, we have to wait 3 months to see if the Port Harcourt refinery will start the production and be able to do what refineries are meant to do. I mean, we know that the former president Obasanjo, is a good critic when it comes to, many of the president after he left the office. But again, I think Bola Tinubu is trying not to have any kind of row with him, because there was tension, though he visited him just as the campaign trail was going on. He's now the president. He wants to focus on the job that he has been allowed to, based now on the fact that the tribunal have said Tinubu is still the president. But Obasanjo critics against this government is not going to end anytime soon, just as it was the same when Buhari was in power.
Okay, so let's see what happens there. Yesterday, whilst we were on air, information came through saying that, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport was on fire. At some point, places were on fire. Air traffic controllers have been relocated. So those of us who were going to travel yesterday to Nigeria or to the Murtala Mohammed Airport would have been having problems. I don't know where their planes landed and stuff like that. Bayomi, tell us more about that and bring us the rest of the stories that is making the rounds this morning. Over to you, sir.
You're quite right. Traveling could sometimes mean that if there's a problem at the airport, like we saw in UK, the glitch literally threw as many travelers, both and those coming back home. Yesterday, there was a fire at the wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, one of the most busiest airports in Nigeria, apart from the Nnamdi Azikiwe as well. But the air traffic controllers at the airport has been forced to relocate from the tower at the airport terminal building to what is now called a mobile tower located around Caverton helicopters. And the reason I believe is because there is a damage and they might have to repair certain things, to get that working again. This development came after the fire outbreak at the baggage hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport yesterday. The fire incident, which occurred just about 8 a.m. yesterday, led to a temporary evacuation of passengers and the airport staff from the flagship airport. But the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria confirmed that the incident later in a statement that was issued. The question now is how soon will this be able to resolve, and how is this going to affect some of the airlines, passengers of the Delta Airline, the United Airlines, Ethiopian Airlines, who arrived later in the morning to the new terminal built with the Chinese loan. So it seems that some of those airlines that was traveling to Nigeria were diverted to the new terminal that is still work ongoing. But just about 3 p.m., according to the fan, normalcy was restored to the old Muritala Mohammed International Terminal Airport. So we hope that many travelers in and out of the country will be able to continue their journey, as we can say. Now let's come back again to some of the other news network happening in Nigeria. Poverty eradication will be reduced, insecurity by 50%. Again, we just have to stick to what they're saying based on what the government with its ministers. Now we have ministers, and most of them have now resumed working and telling us what they're planning to do. The federal government yesterday said that the eradication of poverty in Nigeria will be reduced and the level of the insecurity witnessed across the country by over 50%. This is coming from the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Elevation, Betty Edo. This was disclosed in Abuja while again soliciting assistance from the Nigerian Air Force in the delivery of relief materials and palliatives to the hard-to-reach areas in Nigeria. The other headline is coming to say 17.7 million Nigerians are hungry, while 1 million others face acute food insecurity. About 17.7 million Nigerians are hungry, and the number could increase to 25 million if nothing is done urgently to salvage the situation. Of the figure, about 1 million suffer from acute food insecurity, a term describing people who are hungry but do not know how the next meal will have to come. This is coming from the nutrition officer for the United Nations International Children in Keru Emergency Fund, UNICEF, made the disclose yesterday at a 2-day media dialogue on nutrition financing in Nigeria, and this was organized by the Child Rights Information Bureau of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the UNICEF. Where are the states that we're going to be concerned about? Lagos, Borno, Katsina, Kano have the highest number of food insecure people in the country, even as she's lamented widespread malnutrition in Nigeria. Again, we know that the United Nations focus this year is on the SDG, the 17. The number one is eradication or say no to poverty. How will Nigeria be able to tackle that? Currently, about 35 million children in Nigeria are already malnourished, with the country having the highest number of affected children in Africa and the second highest in the world. Not a very good news, but we hope this government would do that eradication to reduce poverty in the country. As more reaction is still coming from the what we know as the election petition tribunal, the PDP would address the World Conference later on today. We might be able to give you the update tomorrow. The People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate during the February 25th, 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, will today address a world press conference. This is coming after the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PET, threw out his case and upheld the victory of President Bola Tinubu. Atiku and his Labour counterpart were both rejected by the judgment of the tribunal. We don't know what is going to be coming out from the press conference, but I'll be telling you more about that later on tomorrow, since it's going to be coming up at about 1400 hours later on this afternoon. This is being held at the conference bill at the NEC Hall located on the ground floor of the PDP national headquarters. The invited journalist by the party national director of publicity says, "Hello, gentlemen of the press, good evening. This is to invite you to the press briefing. We'll be monitoring that, and I'll be telling you more about that." At 11:46 a.m., I'll take one more, and then we'll move straight to the social media. Many problems plaguing Nigeria, says the Senate President Akpabio. That's Akpabio behind the camera on the back screen. Senate President Godwill Akpabio has called for developing reliances in purifying solutions to the many current and emerging security threats in the country. We know that the reason why farmers and many locations across the country has been destroyed is because of the terrorism, and that has not been really handled properly by the former President Muhammadu Buhari. Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that there will be safety for farmers to return back to farm and get as many produce out of the farm. But again, the Senate President, Godwill Akpabio, has now called for purifying solution to the current and emerging security threat in Nigeria. He was actually making this call at the graduation dinner and award night for participants of the National Defense College course that took place in Abuja yesterday. The statement committee on the Navy chairman, Benga Daniel, represented Mr. Fabio. Mr. Fabio said the college had actually invested in nurturing and equipping the participant with a relinquished strategic knowledge in the last 11 months of intellectual toil, pressure, and anxiety. But we'll have to wait and see how President Bola Tinubu will improve the quality of governance and security in the country. Now let's move straight to some of what is happening on the social media. And as many Nigerians are waking up again this morning to accept the fate that the election tribunal has made their judgment, and it seems everything has calmed down. Hashtag Obedience is trending this morning, and again, the Labour Party is trending at about 79,000. That's the party representing Peter Obi. Again, many of the candidates and many of you can see some of the lawyers yesterday sleeping. Looks like they were stressed. That's Mike Ozakome, and that's also the chairman of the Labour Party, probably getting tired with the what is being said. But again, many Nigerians are now saying maybe we should just allow the government to continue, while many still disagree. I've been following some of their tweets this morning. Some are writing a lot of episodes, and some are just saying, well, we told you that your PVC was never going to give you the outcome of your expectation. But again, in a country with 200 million, remember that the proportion of those that voted was not a very big number, but it seems that the division between the two political parties led to one now being given the final battle to take care and bring the Nigeria of the dream for those that believe in such. Once again, for the self-determination, the campaign continue as this month, September, the Yoruba will be continue with their self-determination rally that was taking place at the United Nations General Assembly from the 19th of this month, where they will continue their quest. Starr Radio UK, I will now come back to you again in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It's now gone, 11:49 virtually. Yeah, gosh, 10 minutes to 12. But a quick one before we go. We're talking about malnutrition, hunger, and stuff like that. Behind you, we can see some of the lawyers who were sleeping, they're chilling out proper. Now, because the AC was working, there's electricity, Abby. Okay. Now, did the palliatives get to the places that they need to get to? How were they distributed? Because how we found out that there were some that the DSS were pursuing people who were selling them on the market. So if let's say you and I, we don't need those things. So if we happen to get palliatives now, you might think that, what do I do with it? Maybe go and give it to somebody who might need it, as we normally would do here. But back there, somebody might somehow come by it and see that they don't need that and decide to go sell it on the market. Okay? Or through some dubious means might have gotten it to now sell it on the market. So the question, how did that palliative, how was the distribution done? Did it get to the right places? Those who really need that, are they getting it at all?
Well, I remember that the agency in Nasarawa that is meant to be the one to distribute the palliative were the ones selling it. So we're not saying the individual that have received the palliative are selling it. We're actually, according to the DSS, the agency in charge of managing such disaster and management were the ones selling off, the palliatives that was given to that particular state. We know when it comes to the the monetary part of it, we know 5 billion was meant to be given to each state.
Yeah.
But some states have said they've only received 2 billion, maybe the other billion is coming. But again, how will those states manage it? We've seen in Lagos State, the distribution of palliative to 500,000 really desperate individuals in Lagos State. Remember that Lagos has about 20 million, maybe about 5 million might really be desperate, but again, is 500,000 enough palliative for those? Is a question mark. We've seen other states making some distribution, but the question is, how much time would they be able to consume some of this palliative? 3 weeks? Because when we talk about hunger, you have to continue to eat on a daily basis. And we don't know what is going to happen. But again, the president believes that the subsidy palliative will continue. But for how long, we will all have to wait.
Well, listeners, let me say thank you very much. Aziz, yes, good morning to you. It says morning to Mr. Koiki and Archie and all the team at Starr Radio UK. And it says Yoruba Nation, no going back. All right then. So I think we have to bring the updates to a close here now because we're taking so much time off you. But Yomi, before you go.
Well, we'll be giving more of the news again from tomorrow. But for now, I think the Nigerians that believe in Nigeria are still looking to what happened yesterday, whether it was fair or not. It seems that the judges that rule over those judgments have made those decisions, and that is going to be the Supreme Court judges that will have to take the next matter should Peter be an Atiku. But for now, I'll leave you in the good hands of Archie to continue with the program. I'll be back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock on the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Have a very good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It's a very comprehensive one. And if you still have any comments, feel free, you can post it. And I promise you one thing for sure. I'm going to actually read that as well. But let me announce the lines open whilst I bring you the first tune that I want you to enjoy. Not the first tune, I brought you lots of tunes, but one of this, because of the statement that the vice president made, Shetima, he did say that, well, you know what, this democracy it's not a destination, it's a journey, so we are traveling. It's only heaven that knows where we are going, though. But one of the musicians, Zongoman, who is one of our favorites, have gone on to say that, look, use the ballot box. But did the ballot box actually work for you? If it did, I want to know what you think about that. But what the lines to be called are 020, the numbers to be called are 02081332257 or 58. 02081332257 or 58. In US or Canada is 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can text or WhatsApp me. It's 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is at Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. So whatever it is, make sure you dial and let me hear from you. Enjoy this song from the Zogo Man. Use the ballot box.
UK.
they say, use the ballot box and don't rig votes and don't do all sorts. And they tell you that, well, if you think that you have been cheated during the election, you can go to the courts to seek redress. But with the redress and everything that took place yesterday in Nigeria, how do you see it? Now, looking at the few coup d'etats this morning, I was monitoring some stories from the BBC International, and they were talking about the fact that coup d'etats, are they something that like one. Okay, just bear with me. Okay. My apologies for that. So you ask yourself the question: is it a copy? Does it become a copycat thing that people are looking at? Oh, because this country did it, so we're going to do it. They were citing example of the Arab Spring, where it started from Tunisia and others followed suit, and it was going on and on. That led to lots of things, Gaddafi and everything that went on there. So we see that there, but. And Algeria, where and then it even went to Egypt as well. But we had some of the authorities clamping down on them, and that's what stopped whatever thing that was going on. But when people see that the people that we are voting into power are repeatedly abusing the system, not hearkening to what we want, not doing what we want, and the referee is also siding with a group of then you see you get to a point where people think that we don't have a choice, we don't have anybody to go to, and that's why some people will say God for us all. But some people will think, okay, now let's see, maybe we can get those who have got the guns and then they can do something, but which we know that is not the right thing to be done. However, like the statement that the vice president Shatima made, saying that democracy is a destination but not a journey. Say let's keep on holding on. We'll get to that destination, the destination by and by. But by that time, how many of us will be left? Those who are desperate, those who are being those who are malnourished, those who need the help. Where would they even be to see this? Well, listen, as a Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to my niece, Vida Abedi. I hope you are doing very, very well. And as many of you who have joined us, those of you on the Facebook and those of you on the YouTube and all the other platforms, I salute each and every one of you. And thank you very much, Yomi, for that comprehensive updates from there. Okay, so now moving on straight to the African continent. This morning, information coming through says that the junta, as they call them, has freed the ousted Gabonese president Ali Bongo. I'll be bringing you more on that. But for Niger, the EU have denounced obstructions to the travel of its ambassador. Okay. The European Union deployed on Wednesday obstructions to the travel of its ambassador stationed in Niger, where soldiers took power at the end of July and have since held elected President Mohamed Bazoum captive. The European Union denounces and regrets the obstacles to freedom of movement of which the European ambassador stationed in Niamey was a victim this Tuesday, September 5th, while he was going to the French embassy, indicates the EU in a press release. Under the Vienna Convention of 1961 on diplomatic relations, editors note the ambassador of the European Union has been duly accredited and he must therefore be able to carry out his mission in full respect of the said convention. The press release did not give details of the incident in question. The EU strongly condemned the July 26 takeover of power by the military in Niger, suspended its budgetary aid to the Sahelian country, and warned that it will impose sanctions against the perpetrators of the push. Now, France, a former colonial power, does not recognize the new authorities in Niamey and maintains its ambassador there, despite the injunction of the new authorities who demand the departure and threatens to expel him. Well, the question is, that's the EU and France. Okay, the EU, I mean, France is part of it, but I'm thinking of the EU as a collective group and France as a former colonial master. Where did they recognize that the people or the citizens of Niger were actually suffering? Or were they looking at their own parochial interests and was saying that, look, so far as our interest is being served and we seem to be giving them something small so that they get on and be doing all their stuff, it's okay, everybody sees that we are there, we are doing something, but at the end of the day we are looking at our own permanent interest as compared to what the nation as a whole needed. So you catch my drift. Once again, well, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, in another story, Rwandan police have arrested serial killer suspect after finding bodies in kitchen. A suspected serial killer has been arrested after the discovery of more than 10 corpses in a pit dug in the kitchen of his Kigali home. Now, Rwandan police and media reported on Wednesday. Now, police said the 34-year-old suspect met his victims, men and women, in bars and lured them to his rented accommodation on the outskirts of Rwandan capital. He operated by luring his victims, mostly prostitutes, to his home, where he stole their phones and other personal belongings before strangling them and burying them in a pit dug in his kitchen, said Rwandan Bureau of Investigation RIB spokesperson Thierry Morangira. The Rwandan media claimed that more than 10 bodies had been found, and a source within the RIB told us that, on condition of anonymity, that 14 victims had been counted so far. The RIB spokesperson contacted us, declined to confirm this figure, telling us that the final number of victims will be determined by forensic investigations. The suspect had already been arrested in July on suspicion of rape and robbery, but was released on bail for lack of evidence, said spokesperson Thierry Morangara. The investigation followed its course, and it was during a search of his home that the bodies were discovered in the kitchen pit. Gosh, I bet that home will be stinking. The suspect confesses to having learned to kill by watching videos about known serial killers. He dissolved some of his victims in acid, added the anonymous IRB source. Wow. Well, may their souls rest in perfect peace. Starr Radio UK. Now, Zambia's former First Lady has been released from police custody. Why? The former Zambia President Edgar Lungu's wife, Esther Lungu, has been freed from police custody and will face court proceedings. She, along with 4 others, were arrested on Wednesday but released in the evening, as confirmed by police spokesperson Danny Mwale. The charges against them include a theft of motor vehicle, theft of property certificate in Lusaka, and possession of property suspected to be linked to criminal activities. Well, a sad one there. Is it a wife of what do we call her? Him, the late Zambian leader, but Edgar Lungu. Okay, no, this is Edgar Lungu's wife, the one who came before the demise of the former president. Okay, so let's monitor it closely and see how it goes on from there. Listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Hopefully she will not say it's a political witch hunt, as we hear going round the world now. In Gabon, well, as I did say, Gabon's former president Ali Bongo, who was ousted in the Porsche, is free to leave the country and travel abroad. The leader of the coup that toppled him said on Wednesday he has freedom of movement and can travel abroad if he wishes. General Bryce Ilugi Nguema said in a statement read on state television. Bongo, in power for 14 years, had been under house arrest since the military coup of August 30 carried out without bloodshed, less than an hour after his party proclaimed his re-election in a vote described as fraudulent by the putschists. Now, given his state of health, the former president of the republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba, has freedom of movement. He can travel abroad if he wishes to carry out his medical checks, Colonel Ulrich Mafumbi said. Reading a press release signed by Olayomi, took his oath as transitional president on Monday. Now, Bongo suffered a serious stroke in October 2018, which left him physically impaired with particular difficult moving his right leg and arm. Bongo took office in 2009, succeeding his father, Omar, who ruled the country for some 41 years, gaining a reputation for iron-fisted rule and kleptocracy. Now, he was re-elected in bitterly disputed circumstances in 2016, but 2 years later suffered a stroke that weakened his grip on power. According to the official disputed results, Bongo picked up 64.27% of the vote against 30.77% for Ondo Oza. In the immediate aftermath of the coup, Ondo Oza urged Olayomi to step aside, arguing that he won the election, but the outcome has now been cancelled by the military takeover. He has also suggested Olayomi and Bongo were connected by family ties, and that the event was less a coup than a palace revolution that has now perpetuating what he called the Bongo system. Well, so if my brother, my own brother, decide to overthrow me, and he is still, so it's still the artist, or like Olayomi decide to kick me out, or vice versa, and it's still the team, right? That's what they are saying. Oh my. But listen, I say the Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to be moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, and this time round in Ghana as well. Wow. Akufo-Addo has sacrificed competence for loyalty. Asa Asante, a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Asa Asante, has stated that the current government led by President Akufo-Addo has sacrificed competence for loyalty. Now, this comes after a leading contender and the former Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen, pulled out from the race, citing maltreatment of his polling agents in the Northeast region during the party's superdelegates conference, among others. Alan Kyerematen added that the superdelegates conference was strategically and tactically skewed in favor of one particular aspirant. The political science lecturer indicated that the governing New Patriotic Party must not take Alan Kyerematen's withdrawal from the race lightly. As for breaking the eight, they are saying it's because there are a whole lot of factors that will come into play. I've said it time and time again, and that the issue of the economy will come strongly to those who have managed it well, and is the one who will be crowned with all the efforts in the country. Corruption, who has managed it well and will be a factor. Unemployment is still a problem associated with the youth. It will still feature issues of competence, and people believe that there is a lot of competent people in this government, and the government has sacrificed competence for loyalty, and they believe that somebody must come with a political will to be able to engage competent people to right the wrongs, Dr. Asante stated. He added that Ghanaians are also expecting somebody who will take very tough decisions for the betterment of the country as a whole. Listeners, it is Starr Radio, okay? Let's take a quick break. We come back and I'll be taking you to the other parts of the world to look at what is happening there at the time 12:12.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Well, Star Radio UK, the Mercury here is reading up to what? Ta-da-da-da-da. In the studio, yes, but telling me outside is about 32 degrees already. Well, listen at Star Radio UK, telling you everything that you got to know. So, now to the latter part of the program, and that is looking at the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Now, okay, there are some other stories that I'm going to be bringing you before the close of the program. Now, Japan boy band agency boss has resigned over predators abuse. It's one of the stories. And Austrian honeymooners missing in deadly Greek floods. Well, there have been floods in Greece as well. And U.S. to arm Ukraine with controversial tank shell. And then China wants to ban clothes that hurt nations' feelings. So let me pick that one first. Now, a draft law banning speech and dressing detrimental to spirit of Chinese people has sparked a debate in China. But I bet you they're going to be shutting them down like no man's business. Now, if the law comes into force, people found guilty could be fined or jailed, but the proposal does not yet spell out what constitutes a violation. Now, social media users and legal experts have called for more clarity to avoid excessive enforcement. Now, China recently released a swathe of proposed changes to its public security laws, the first reforms in the case. The clothing law has drawn immediate reaction from the public, with many online criticizing it as excessive and absurd. I tell you, you can control the people all the time, most of the time, but you cannot control them all the time. And that is a very serious move that they are making, and I hope that they have a proper relook at it. The contentious clauses suggest that people who wear or force others to wear clothing and symbols that undermine the spirit or hurt the feelings of Chinese nation could be detained for up to 15 days and fined up to 5,000 yuan, that is $680 or 550 pounds. So let's say during summertime in this part of the world, now I'm in the studio, I'm on air, I put on a dress formally. So I'll put on my shirt, I'll put on my tie, or normally I'll put on, if it's that is, I'll put on a vest, or I'll put on a jacket, a suit, and then I sit here and do it. So let's say that during summertime, with the heat and everything, I'm not going to put it on that. I come to church or I go to events and I put on some traditional attire from, let's say, Ghana, where I come from originally. Okay? Yes. Or I put on my agbada from Nigeria, where I come from as well. Okay? So now, if I do that, am I undermining the nation of the UK? Or is it something to control the people? Well, let me bring you a bit more from there. Those who create or disseminate articles or speech that do so could also face the same punishment. The proposed legal changes also forbid insulting, slandering, or otherwise infringing upon the names of local heroes and martyrs, as well as vandalism of their memorial statues. Now, online people question how law enforcers could unilaterally determine when the nation's feelings are hurt. Will wearing a suit and tie count? Marxism originated in the West. Would its presence in China also count as hurting national feelings? One user posted on Chinese Twitter-like platform Weibo. Now, legal experts in the country have also criticized the law vague phrasing saying it could be open to abuse. And if you look at what happened in Iran, where this young lady who decided to put on her headscarf and just covered part of it, just left the front bit the way, and was arrested by the fashion police, and ended up dying after she is alleged to have been abused there. Then is it the same thing that we're going to be seeing here? Are you not going to be telling me what I can wear and what not to wear? So far as it's not indecency, me exposing myself to somebody, I don't think that should be a problem at all. Okay, this is my 1, 2, 3. He said you're not absolutely undermining anyone, but upholding you and sustainable development goals. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Well, that is true. That is true. So, well, freedom. But well, some will ascribe to that. And what do we do from there? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. And then some of the stories that I did talk about earlier on. Now, Austrians who were on a honeymoon in Greece have been found, have lost their lives. An Austrian couple on honeymoon is missing in Greece after torrential rain swept away the house they were staying in. Emergency services said they are searching for the couple and several others missing people there as well. People in central Greece were trapped on the roofs of their houses after floods set whole villages underwater. More than a dozen people are now known to have died since Storm Daniel hit Greece, Turkey, and Bulgaria this week. Well, the sad one there. So what is causing all that? Climate? So what has happened in the past? Interesting one there. So coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The boss of Japan's biggest pop talent agency has resigned after finally admitting the sexual abuse committed by its late founder, Johnny Kitagawa. Now, Julie Fujishima resigned from Johnny and Associates on Thursday during a public apology to her uncle's victims. Her departure comes a week after investigators found Kitagawa abused hundreds of boys and young men over 6 decades, as well as of the boy band agency. Now, he said that Johnny Kitagawa died in 2019, having always denied wrongdoing. He never faced charges. On Thursday, his niece and outgoing chief executive, Ms. Fujishima, acknowledged his abuse for the first time. Both the agency itself and I myself, as a person, recognize that sex abuse by John Kitagawa took place, she said. Quote and unquote, I apologize to his victims from the bottom of my heart. Okay, local media showed some of the victims watching the news conference, some looking visibly angry. So what are they going to do? Are they going to be receiving what compensation for being abused? Well. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A big story making the rounds here in the UK talks about SKP. A manhunt is continuing for terror suspect Daniel Abed Khalifi more than 24 hours after he escaped from prison. The 21-year-old ex-soldier escaped from Wandsworth prison in South London on Wednesday morning. He was wearing his prison issue cook's uniform, including red and white checkered trousers. It is believed he managed to exit the prison grounds by strapping himself to the underside of a food delivery van. My goodness, we only see this in the movie. His escape led to heightened security at airports and ports around the UK. Now, questions are now being asked over long-standing issues at the Wandsworth prison, one of the country's most overcrowded jails. Now, along with his distinctive trousers, he was wearing a prison issue white t-shirt and a brown steel toe cap boots when he allegedly strapped himself to the underside of a van that was leaving the prison. He will be found and he will be made to face justice, as Justice Secretary Alice Chalk told the House of Commons. Mr. Khalifi Mr. Khalifa joined the army in 2019 and had been based in the at the MOD Stafford, also known as Beacon Barracks, when he disappeared on the 2nd of January after an alleged bomb hoax. He was arrested a few weeks later on the 26th of January. He was remanded at HMP Wandsworth on the 28th of January, Mr. Chalk told MPs. He said, contrary to press reports, Mr. Khalifa was never held in Belmarsh high security category A prison after Labour's Shabana Mahmood questioned why he had been moved from there to Wandsworth. Well, so a search is going on now. If you know about him, you can get in touch with the authorities. Star Radio UK. Well, interestingly, I said we Brexited, but we want to be coming back. You know, the UK is to rejoin the EU's flagship scientific research scheme, Horizon. The government has announced the UK-based scientists and institution will be able to apply for money from the £81 billion fund from today. Now, Associates membership had been agreed as part of the Brexit trade deal when the UK formally left the EU in 2020. However, the UK has been excluded from the scheme for the past 3 years because of a disagreement over the Northern Ireland Protocol. The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said, with a wealth of expertise and experience to bring to the global stage, we have delivered a deal that enables UK scientists to confidently take part in the world's largest research collaboration program. We have worked with our EU partners to make sure that this is the right deal for the UK, unlocking unparalleled research opportunities and also the right deal for British taxpayers. Today, Thursday's announcement also states that the UK will associate to Copernicus, the EU's £8 billion pounds Earth observation program. Britain will not, however, be rejoining a nuclear research alliance known as the Euratom R&D, although there is an agreement to cooperate specifically on nuclear fusion. This is all coming away from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bring the time now to 12:25. One other story, and then we will bring the program to a close. Well, my producers have signaled me that there is one reported one that I need to bring about. Now, dozens of young autistic people have died after serious failings in their care despite repeated warnings from coroners. Now, investigations issued a flag a decade ago are still being warned about now. The government says £4.2 million is being invested to improve services. Now, two bereaved mothers told in a lesson that nothing had been learned by their local health authority after the death of their teenage sons 2 years apart. The coroner who oversaw both cases noted a repeated failure in care. After the first death, the coroner criticized the NHS Kent and Medway for inadequate support and said a similar incident may happen if this continued. 2 years later, the second autistic teenager died under the care of the same authority. The same coroner found that had the 15-year-old received the recommended level of care, he might have got the therapy he needed. So, parents who have got autistic children, are they getting the necessary support that they need from the state? Or what? Okay, the final story. The former Tory whip, Chris Pincher, you remember him? Yeah, has resigned his seat after losing his appeal against a proposed common suspension for drunkenly groping two men. It means the government will face another by-election. The Parliament Standards Committee found Tamworth MP groped two men at London's Carlton Club. It described his completely inappropriate behavior as an abuse of power. Mr. Pincher, who has been sitting as an independent MP, had previously announced he will be standing down at the next election. However, on Monday, he lost an appeal against a proposed 8 week suspension. It meant that if MPs had approved their recommendation, usually a formality, it would be triggered. It would have triggered a recall petition that could have led to a by-election. In a statement on Thursday, Mr. Pinja, who had held the seat since 2010, said he came to the decision to resign after talking to his family and his staff. He said, "I do not want my constituents to be put to further uncertainty, and so in consequence I have made arrangement to resign and leave the Commons." It is set to be the 9th by-election since Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister. Parliament Standards Commissioner Daniel Greenberg found Mr. Pincher groped a then employee of the House of Lords and his arm and neck before groping his bottom. He also found he groped a civil servant's bottom and then his, I don't want to say that one, but well, groping. He was groping everything, you know. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. So there's going to be a by-election. Will Labour win those seats from them, or will the Conservatives hold on to that? With Rishi Sunak, some popularity is still plummeting, not being able to whip it up. What do you think about all that? Well, listeners, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. Now, this afternoon, our DJs are going to be taking over, bringing you more music and less talk. It's a very hot day here in London, but I tell you that, well, I'm going to take my break now and bring you this song. Broken pencils still write, so keep on writing. I like to give people hope. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Anthony Adedeji, lots of hearts to you as well, and thumbs up to you. Thank you very much for joining us, and as many of you who have joined us on all the various platforms wherever you are listening to us from. As I do say all the time, it costs you an arm and a leg to listen or to view us, yet you do it religiously, and I appreciate that, and I say God bless you. But as we say on this platform, may Nigeria not happen to you. It's been me, Archie, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, our able producer, Mr. Francis Gaye, and all of you there saying have a wonderful day and bye-bye for now. Enjoy this music from Kofi Boham, Broken Pencils.
Thanks for listening.
See
Life is not fair, greed is all we see. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, they broke it, and now you put it on free. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, if you could see the real them, you know you're being a great fool. You wrote a paper and failed, sit down and write it again, one day you will kill him. He broke your heart and you cried, give love another try. True love will heal him. I'm not trying to look down on your problems, no, 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 no. I know say you don't know how you sabi solve them. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know. He's a specialist in handling cases and issues we don't blow. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Thanks for listening.
Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise. Wipe the tears.